Welcome everybody, Red23 here. We got another addition to the playbook. Today we're going to be looking at Minotaur, or Mino, and we are going to be looking at a core rush, but we're going to be doing it from the building damage statue this time. This one right here. Sometimes we do the core rush from the building health statue just down at 6 o'clock, but we're going to be out at, or 5:30, and we're going to be out at 4 o'clock for doing this one. So first things first, we're going to clear some mines. So the thing to note when you're doing a barrage on Mino, because we obviously need to take out the mines to the right of the flamethrower and around the building health statue for when we get there. We don't want to be setting all those off. But when you do barrage, just remember that you are tagging a bunch of defenses. So normally if you got into this area, the Zookas will sort of spread a little bit more controlled because they'd all be looking at various defenses all around, and then you could flare onto the core. But because now all of these defenses in front are tagged, all of the Zookas are going to be looking that direction, so they might spread out a little bit more. But that's all good because we're going to double smoke the end, and we're going to be flaring from a little bit further away, so we know that the Zookas are going to spread, and we're going to mitigate that with that double smoke. So here we go. Sometimes this flamethrower is a mortar. This time we can get away with sort of like a a flag landing with a low smoke, and then we're going to flare to somewhere where it's going to be nice and tightly grouped. We want to smoke first, drop that flare, and then flare before the Zookas stop, or like as soon as the Zookas stop. And the reason we're doing that beach flare is so that we can tighten up those Zookas nice and tight. And then we want to be flaring up. And you'll see that this right line, we want to be walking on the outside of these fuel cells. So we want to be flaring between these defenses, slightly biased to the right. And we want to follow that 45-degree angle right down to the beach. You can do like a flare landing with the flare underneath this mortar just to the left, maybe where that this first landing craft is, right down low. And this wouldn't work for this one because of the rocket launcher over on the right hand side, but you can do like a flare landing and then flare directly up. You can normally just duck under a couple of mortar shots, but it's a little bit trickier. Might show that in a different video. So here we go. We're going to be moving on up, and this flare is very important. So we're just going to have a quick zoom in on that. If you imagine the statue is actually 2 pixels wide, so if you're dragging around when you're changing your base layout, you'll see that the statue sits 2 pixels wide and obviously 2 pixels deep. So we want to be firing that flare in one of those 4 pixels that it's covering, and it has to be one of the right 2. If it goes into one of the left 2, some of the Zookas are going to split to the left of the power cells. And we don't want that to happen. We want to obviously stay all on the right and see how they're nice, tightly grouped. We can space our smokes out a bit more. And then we got the smokes out. Obviously you want the further smoke first usually, but that's fine. They're both very close together. And he is sort of using, if that smoke was a little bit further spaced apart in time, it would be a critter smoke, but the critters are there. They're mainly here for this set of rocket launchers down low, which aren't usually there. So let's have a look at the rest. Here we go. So as soon as they're in position, we're going to be flaring onto the core, and you can see how wide that spread is. It's definitely not going to be under one smoke because we're flaring from a little bit further away. And there's those power cells there. We are going to have a bit of a spread, so definitely want to be double smoking the end position. And have a look at where they're all positioned now, and make sure that when you do throw your smokes, it's going to cover all of that, because one peak will ruin your life. This laser will pop off, or these rocket launchers, you're going to lose the delay on all of the rocket launchers, and you have to throw those shocks way quicker. So you definitely want to have that perfect double smoke. If you need a triple smoke, make sure you got the GBE for it and do it. So here we go, smoke's about to expire, and notice the order in these shocks. So he's got the 2 furthest rocket launchers first. You usually want the top rocket launcher group and then the next rocket launcher group. Obviously our flamethrower and any machine guns that we're going to be in range of are going to fire a lot faster than rocket launchers, not going to have the delay, but you want to be shocking that top rocket launchers first, and then we got the rest and the bottom rocket launchers last. All these mortars are firing into those critters, and these bottom rocket launchers are going to fire into those critters as well. You'll find that on a standard Minotaur setup, these boom cannons will probably be flamethrowers. This laser probably won't be here. There's sometimes something up there, but these machine guns usually, there'll be a machine gun where that laser is. So just watch that. If it is that, you may be better off doing a building health statue core rush. So check that one out when I add it to the playlist. And this machine gun ranges out of range, and the rocket launchers down low are just in range of the edge. So there we go, all the shocks are out, 1, 2, 3, and we've kind of had a hybrid shock of the flamethrower and the 2 mortars. Usually we would just shock this whole group of mortars right here, and these flamethrowers, which obviously are boom cannons and flamethrowers. So nice little combo shock using what defenses we have here, and look at it just laying into the core. I like it, I like it. So it's definitely another good position that you can be hitting Mino from. So check it out. That laser's just roasting now that we've all run out. So let's check out the next attack, which is the same sort of drill. So that was Neil, and then we had Shivam, also known as the one-man show, for the finish of the Indian finish. Neil Shanks is the hashtag. So here we go, the one-man show, going to show us how it's done. Again with this flare landing. If they are all mortars, you can also do the throw the critters as soon as they land, drop all your troops, and the mortars will fire on them. So there we go, and then a nice gather flare flaring up straight away before they spread too much. So spread a little, but that's fine. And then we've got that same flare spot, and we're going to be flaring right onto that right pixel of the statue. So all of the Zookas are going to walk to the right. And then the last 2 smokes have to be perfect. Obviously they're throwing quite a few smokes in this one, shocks in this one. There we go, all the shocks are out, and that furthest rocket launcher got fired first, shocked first. And there we go. Boom, down goes the core. So there was the Mino core rush from building damage statue. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Let me know if you have any other alternative tactics for Mino. Hopefully that'll help you out. It obviously depends on what defenses are around. If that laser is up top or a shock blaster or something like that, and you're having to throw a shock up there anyway, you may as well take the Zookas a little bit higher up and be definitely out of range of those lower standard mortar machine guns, or if they are rocket launchers like they were down there before. And then it's just going to help you out, and you do way more damage. So nice work from the Angry Turtles, Neil and Shivam. Love it. So that'll do for this video. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach.